Hey y'all. First things first, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It will definitely help me greatly. I'm going to start with Haley and Jacob. I'm so glad that Dr. Pepper told her it seems like Jacob is doing all the changing and she hasn't done anything, because I thought that it may have been just me who felt that way when she said a few episodes ago that she's the one doing everything. And I didn't see that. This was like the episode where he cleaned up after the party, and they did a little flashback to that. But I'm glad that, she made her realize a few things that she wants to change about him, maybe just embracing it a little, or, giving it time. I think that if she gets out of her head on what she thinks that the relationship should be, and because it doesn't compare to what she thinks it should be or what she's used to, that it could possibly work. I mean, if you're marrying a stranger, you can't really go in expecting what you've had in the past, because obviously that didn't work. So you have to say you're open and open to marrying a stranger. You're going to have to kind of not think of what you want that person to be, because you're marrying a stranger. You don't know, and you basically don't get to choose, obviously. So I think that, the things that bother her about him, she needs to, take into consideration not just his age and her age, but y'all are different people and you live different lives, and you have to somehow um, get it together. I mean, he's not really, the things that he does is not really that bad. And she was able to see some of the things that she liked about him and why they were matched. It's just very simple things, like, you don't like how he dresses. Okay, yeah, that's simple, he can change that. But there's some things about a person that you don't want to change, because that's who made them who they are. And you need to realize, like, the people you were picking were not right for you, or, didn't treat you right. So you need to, just try to embrace it. She needs to just try to embrace it a little bit more. The things that, him and uh, Pastor Cal talked about, I think it kind of gave him a little bit more of understanding, and maybe not only, hearing from somebody else, okay, like the things that you're worried about her not being attracted to you, or, just to give it time, even though he has said in the past that he's going to give it time. But it just seemed like they had just a better understanding of each other when they did meet back up and were able to talk. I think their talk was, kind of the most productive, and they took the advice of the experts, the best out of all of them. So Virginia and Eric. Virginia's worried about having a kid, and understandably, I think that everybody questions how they are going to be as a mother. I think, especially if you come from a situation where, you don't want to be anything like your parents. And I've come from that situation, and literally I thought about how I was going to parent, you know, when I shouldn't have been thinking about kids at all. Um, so I understood what, what worried her about becoming a mother. Eric, um, he needs to understand that, when people say, my military background, everybody isn't okay with the sternness of it. Like, you were in the military. She wasn't. Your kids aren't going to be, or, aren't going to be as, their kids. They may grow up to be, obviously, but when you want to force that on somebody, you have to understand that everybody isn't going to be accepting, that it's not always going to be taken in so easily from the other person unless they have that same military background. The dog thing, I understand, but you have to know, like, learn how to choose your battles, and is it really that important? You raised your dog how you wanted to, and just, I think the only real thing that they really need to work on is the drinking. I think that she's just a functioning alcoholic, and she does not realize it, because when they met back up and they talked about the dog, she was okay with, Dr. Pepper telling him to chill out, but she didn't want to talk about the drinking. And I think he doesn't realize, like, it's not just as, when somebody has been drinking pretty much every day for who knows how long, and, basically they look forward to the weekend where they can get out with their friends and drink. You have to think about it. Is there like a real, a deeper issue than just wanting to meet up and drink with your friends? She drinks a lot. You have to realize that she needs help, and it's going to take a very big conversation to get her to realize, and he may not be the person who is going to be able to get her to realize that she is a functioning alcoholic. That's what I think anyway. When you say you can't talk about not drinking, there's an issue. And it's she just needs help. She needs to just to know that she can do it without drinking, or she may not even realize that she has a problem. She just may see it as being fun, and that's it. Brianna and Vincent. Brianna has a very hard time with compromise. I mean, obviously, they said that, how she was at the wedding. I don't want to say she's selfish in all aspects, but some, she is. For her to say she's a frugal person and then go down and list the things that she, her monthly expenses. Frugal people do not spend $400 on wax or getting wax. Frugal people go to the store, the supply store, and get wax themselves, and go home and put the wax in a microwave or in the wax warmer and wax their own legs, cooch, whatever she's waxing, eyebrows. Frugal people do not do that. I mean, frugal people don't spend $200, almost $300 a month getting their hair done. So when he says, I want to cut some of those expenses, she always, automatically goes into, well, I still want you to court me. Yeah, he didn't just mean, we got to cut our entertainment. He meant, like, okay, maybe it will be harder for her to, not want to get her hair done. So maybe that's not something that she cuts. But getting wax, you might have to, cut back on that somehow. Or there has to be something. It, like, $9,000 a month, even though I know that was both of their expenses. You can't say you're frugal, but you spend this much money a month. I mean, that just is what it is. And to, when he says that you guys need to cut back, he wants to save, and you say you want to save, but you want to enjoy your money. Both of those things can be done, and just not at that big expense, as he said. And then, when he talks to Pastor Cal about, him wanting to, sleep a little bit longer. In the beginning, the beginning of the show, when it showed her waking him up, I thought that they were actually going to do something. So when he said he needed a couple more hours of sleep and she said 30 minutes, I actually thought he was joking. And then, her saying 30 minutes, like I said, I thought they had plans. But when he says she wakes him up early and he's still tired, that is very selfish. Morning people feel like if you don't get up in the morning and you're not working or moving when a lot of the world is, that you're lazy and that you are counterproductive and you could be getting more things done, but you're sleeping. When they don't realize your mind does not function like everybody else's always. Morning doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter if you wake up in the morning. That still does not mean you're going to get the things done that you need to get done, because your mind just does not work like that. And especially if you're tired. And he's up when he needs to get up and go to work and do the things that he needs to do, he does it. It just does not have to be on your time, and I don't understand that. And so when he was asking about the compromise, and her compromise was to go to bed a little earlier and wake up a little earlier, that's not a compromise. I'm sure he knows if he went to bed a little bit earlier that he could, maybe not be so tired, but he may work later than you. And so he needs that time to wind down. And his wind down time, if it takes 5 hours and he gets off 4 hours later than you can't expect his schedule to be set like yours. And I think that she is selfish in a lot of ways. And because he shuts down when she doesn't say what he wants, or doesn't even, sometimes he shuts down and it's very uncalled for, but sometimes I think he has a reason to, but I don't think that shutting down is the best way to, let her know that there is a problem. Clara and Ryan, they both, like, oh, everything's fine, everything's wonderful, da da da. Like, why did it have to take the experts to talk about sex for them to even talk about it? Especially Clara, when she knows that she's sexually frustrated. Ryan, he's selfish and he's getting his. No matter if it's full blown intercourse, Ryan is getting off. Like she said, I get him off every night. So he doesn't feel what she's feeling. And since he's the one who is withholding sex, he would be getting himself off every night. There's no way that I wouldn't be doing it. And he's a little selfish at times. And I think that because he knows, like, he's holding something that she wants, and it's just like, if she does not do what I want her to do or say what I want her to say, I can just basically, dangle it in her face, but pull it away even higher where she sees no reach. So then when they have the conversation about sex, and him saying, he doesn't know exactly when they will have sex, that was the perfect time for her to say. And like, the fact that she's sometimes scared to speak to him or let him know what she's thinking, because he is holding sex, for ransom. And whenever she says something that's going to upset him, like and it's not just, when she talks about sex, it's everything that, if she does something, he pulls it further and further away. But that would have been the perfect time to say, okay, you don't want to have sex, then whatever we're doing, like, it's sex. And because I'm not getting pleased, I don't feel comfortable anymore just pleasing you, because I am not getting anything out of it. And it's starting to feel just, very one-sided. It was just the perfect opportunity for her to say whatever she wanted to say. So then Paige and Chris. Paige speaks with Dr. Pepper, and she apologized to her, and she talks about Chris being a narcissist, and that, he was able to get over on them, by the things that he said and the things on paper. and Paige wants to go to meet him whenever, they, I don't know why I can't think of it. When basically they want to say if they want to stay together or if they, want to get a divorce. She wants to go ask him why he signed up for this, knowing basically he still loved his wife. He still had, just slept with her recently, or his ex fiance. You've asked him that question multiple times, and you think that he's going to give you a different answer that's going to make you feel better, that you're going to be able to then take that answer and have closure. No, because every time you have talked to Chris, he's made sure he said something to just take that knife that he stuck in you and twist it a little more and more and more, and you still keep giving him the opportunity. Who cares why he signed up for it? We all know that Chris wanted to just be on TV. And I think that this this one, and then Married at First Sight, Australia, they're not having similar situations, but they're having situations that I don't think that should be on TV at all. Because basically with Chris, you're giving Chris exactly what he wants. Like, yeah, he filmed, but there is such a thing called editing, and he definitely did not deserve as much TV time as he did. And I don't care if Paige did say that she was okay with putting it on TV. That's not something that you need to. You're glorifying that type of shit. And I think that I definitely think that was the wrong move for them. And regardless of their ratings, like at some point in time, like, yeah, Chris is the one who is doing these things, but Dr. Pepper and, Dr. Cal, Dr. Viviana, like, like, how are you okay with putting that out to the world? I mean, maybe, you guys aren't the producers, but at some point, somebody should have been able to say, this is not okay. And this is not what I want to show other people that I will do for them. Because these people are coming, looking for help, and this girl got shitted on the whole season, and it was like it was okay. I mean, they say what they say to him, but still being able to put him on TV and then bring Mercedes on TV. Come on, you didn't. By the end of the season, when you're actually filming, if you could not see that Chris and Mercedes had this game and they were, had this, it had to be planned. And you basically, not saying, yeah, I'm going with the plan, but actually putting it on TV, yeah, you went with their plan. You made them famous, and Chris don't care that he's an asshole. Mercedes obviously don't care that he's an asshole. They wanted the fame. Everything Chris does is calculated. Just like, him coming late to see Dr. Cal. When he walked in, Dr. Cal should have said, you got up and said, this was the set time for us to meet. You didn't come, whenever you were supposed to. I'm leaving. You don't give a person like that. You don't give them TV time. And Dr. Cal, he was not going to give you, heart-filled answers. You knew he was going to give you asshole answers, and he did. And you guys gave him the TV time. Him not feeling sorry at all, and him saying that, Paige could have went with him when he went to pick out a car for his ex-fiance, a brand new Mercedes, when she knows that you don't even want to combine finances. If you're not even going to say you're going to take care of her like you take care of your ex-fiance, and all in the name of you guys having a baby together. You want your kid to travel safely, but a brand new Mercedes. And I think Paige wasn't so upset about him getting a car. It was just a brand new Mercedes. It's totally different. You don't give your ex a brand new Mercedes when you're not together, even if she is having your kid. Yeah, you put them in a car, but not that type of car. And the fact that Chris doesn't see anything wrong with what he did to her, and then knowing that, him and Mercedes have been seen together vacationing, and we all know about this, the baby, but she allegedly had a miscarriage. Yeah, this should they should have never been on TV. It all should have just been edited out. I mean, some of it, well, the majority of it, but yeah, it's actually kind of disgusting when you think about it, because since he has no remorse, and he wants everyone to know he has no remorse, and I just it's just disgusting. But at this point, Paige wanting to see him, I don't understand why she doesn't, like, your closure was him never coming to live with you. Him, every time he meets you, he hurts you. That's the closure. There's nothing that he could say. Well, no. There's nothing that he's going to say that is going to give you closure. And the fact that he probably knows that if he comes to you and whispers in your ear, like, I'm sorry, I am starting to fall in love with you, she would fall back into bed with him. I don't know why she's still stuck and needs answers, but whatever. I will be back next week to talk about the nonsense again. Peace.